All right, I'm through. I'm officially in Ethiopia. The border crossing was quite simple, quite calm, and is basically the first time that Ethiopian bureaucracy has gone smoothly on this entire trip. I hope my map is wrong, but it looks like I have about 200 kilometers of a ride to Dire Dawa, and unfortunately the road is not paved. This road's pretty rough, so every time I try to film on the road, it almost knocks the camera out of my hand, so I'm not going to bother, but I'm just going to push hard. I'm not going to film much and see how far I can get today. So that charming bit of road is where I just came from. And that, if you follow the power lines, is where I'm going. Pretty certain I made a wrong turn. I'm not lost, I think I know where I am, it's just it's not where I need to be. Yeah, I'm gonna head back. You know, mistakes are made. You gotta pay for them, but you know, it's just a little extra riding. And I'm gonna play it safe. Not in this part of Ethiopia. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to, you know, push on. Convince myself that I'm right when I'm not, and then end up in a part of the country I don't want to be in. I started heading back, and a truck full of Somali men pulled over, and they were real nice. I asked them for directions in Amharic, and they explained to me, yes, I'm on the wrong road. I'm on the eastern road, and I want to be on the western road. They said, are you going to Somalia? I said, no, I'm going to Dire Dawa. And he points to the mountains and he says, right there, that's Somalia. I'm closer than I want to be. I did plan to go to Somaliland once upon a time, but it was through the proper borders with an armed guard and on the main roads. If I'm going to go to Somaliland, it's on those terms. Getting a little nervous now. I'm going to press on and get back to Aishau, the town with the junction, before nightfall. Well, I waited till morning so I could ask people in town directions. So looking at the map, there's one road that hits a couple towns, and you know, seems like the more likely option, the way that people would travel. The road they directed me to is shit. It's just rocks and sand, and there's no way that this is a major road connecting this town to the next. I mean, it certainly doesn't connect Dire Dawa to Djibouti. This road is just terrible. The one I was on yesterday was, in hindsight, a much more likely candidate. Either I press on this road, or I go back to the road I was on yesterday and backtrack yet again. I have another decision to make. It's gotta be it. I think I'm just gonna have to hit that road again. It's unfortunate. I came all the way back and ended up, you know, outside of Aishau. I slept in the dirt next to the railroad tracks because there was nowhere to stay. I could have just continued on that road and, you know, slept in the dirt there. It wouldn't have made any difference. Got into the mountains of Somaliland again. This is where I turned around last night. I remember that mobile phone tower on top of the hill. So I'm about 2 hours outside of Aishau now. this is all time I'm just making up from last night, but at least now I'm certain I'm gonna move past the point where I was last night, so I'm at least making forward progress. The road here continues and then branches left to Somaliland. Eating some food. Konjo Magil.
Konjo Magil?
Konjo.
Thank you.
Nice. Wave. Well, the scenery's changed a bit. Instead of vast oceans of sand and rock, I have giant piles of sand and rock. It's a little more interesting to look at, if nothing else. The bad news is the road has turned basically to packed sand mixed with rocks. There's no sign of pavement anywhere, and it's a lot of uphill again. But there's not much wind. I'm making some progress. Just keep pressing on. Tiny little thorn, probably from an acacia branch or something. Can we cut out the parts where I look like an incompetent idiot that can't change a tire? It's about 5 a.m. out here in the desert. I'm still north of Djibouti. But there's a full moon out, there's enough light, so I'm gonna start moving. I was really hoping to be in Djibouti at the end of day 3, and now it's day 5 and I'm still out in the desert. Water is fine, I have plenty of water. I was able to stock up in town, but I'm running a bit low on food. There's been towns that aren't on my map, so hopefully there's another town between here and Djibouti I can get some food. But I mean, this is it. I really got to push on. I got to finish this road. Get back to Djibouti, back to civilization and on the asphalt. It'd be nice. Friends are having a barbecue tonight, so looking forward to that. So that's my motivation. Just gonna push on as hard as I can. Get to Djibouti by dinner time. Eat some cheeseburgers. That's where I'm going. This is the first riverbed I've seen that actually has some water in it. It's flowing. Doesn't look the greatest, but I think my filter could clean it out. Well, I just came down the first substantial downhill I've had in days, and at first it was amazing, you know. Actually covered some ground, stood up, rested my legs, and went pretty fast. It was fun, but the bike was bouncing so much that I shook one of the water bottles off, and I can't be without that water, so walking back up the hill, I'm gonna try to find it. Oh baby, I think I see it. Ah, there it is. It's full, cap's still good. Worth the trip. My video camera is just about dead, so I'm filming this on my digital photo camera. I was riding and all of a sudden the back tire is kind of locked up. I see that the rack that holds the panniers in place had come off and stuck into the tire. but it's not just unscrewed itself, it's actually sheared off and left a piece of metal inside. I have another screw I can put in it, but I can't get that bit out. This hole here is a mount actually for a rear fender, which I have, but I took off because it got mangled and was rubbing against the tire also. So this part extends. If I unscrew this, then it actually telescopes out of the pannier rack, and I was able to move it back and down. And the other side is still mounted here, so I'm going to go around to the other side and make it the same as this. I can see Daredala. It's my first glimpse of civilization in 3 days. Oh, that feels good. Still about an hour's ride away, but I'm gonna make it.